What did I see and what did I hear? It says power, right? This is power, what we have here tonight. I mean, look around you. Look at these men. We're here because we believe in something. And we're here because we want to do something. I mean, that's why I'm here. And I'm reminded of the combined arms concept. I know you know this, Colonel. Luis, was it Colonel? Yeah, Colonel in the Marine Corps we have here with us tonight. Retired. We know all about power, combined arms. So let's see. The Marine Corps, is that powerful? Yes, it is. I will tell you. I'll give you that one. So, right, you have USMC. Now let's talk about tanks. Are those powerful? Yes, they are, right? So this is tanks. Right? How about fighter jets? Power? You ever go to air show? Have those suckers come screaming by with the afterburners on, like 1,000 feet above the air? Man, that's power. Okay, so we got fighter jets, right? I'm taking some liberties with equipment, so forgive me, those who know. So you have all three of these different powerful things, and you got something combined in the center, right? I don't know what we call this, aircraft carrier, right? Or more of like a fleet. You get a whole fleet of ships out there. You've got the aircraft carrier with the jets. You've got the landing craft with the tanks. You've got the troop carriers with the Marine Corps. You can do anything, right? That is power. When you combine different powerful things. Little Venn diagram fan. That's what I like that. Put things together. Okay. So now, we're gonna tone the power down a bit. Okay. Ushers. Not as powerful as the USMC, but they both begin with U. That just came out. Yeah, us. Okay. And then we have the opposite of tanks. We have the welcoming committee. I didn't plan this. It's just coming out. And then what was the third? Was that jets? Something like that?
Fighter jets.
Yeah. Fighter jets. Okay, what's going to go there? You see where I'm going, right?
Choir.
The choir. That's pretty good, actually. I like that. Because what do all three of these things have in common? Well, they don't have you in there, but you can be in all the three of these, right? What we're talking about is when people, right, when people are coming to a parish, they're seeing something entire, right? They come in and they see these guys have it together, and I should say ushers and safety, right? I got a safety team as well. And then they say, hey, I'm interested in the parish, and then we pull out, oh yeah, guess what? Here's a visitor's guide. This nice visitor's guide with our church on the front and our mass times on the back and these nice little nifty photos, right? These guys are professional. I don't really know anything about the Catholic Church, or I've been Catholic, but I don't know much. You know what? You need to be praying, right? Here's a prayer guide. This used to be spending an hour a day in prayer. Here you go. This is how you do it, right? What are we giving to people? What are we sharing with people? We're sharing the faith, but we're sharing our power. This is John chapter 1. To those who believe, God gave them power to become sons of God, right? It is becoming a son of God, right? Being baptized, having the faith is power. Whose power is that? It is God's power, and He's sharing it with us. And that's what we have in the church. That's what we have in the Blessed Sacrament. And that's what we have to give to the world. They say, go out and be a light to the world. How do we do that? By being who we are. And this is where the church went off the rails in the 60s and 70s. You know, Vatican II, whatever, Novus Ordo Mass, English. The church forgot who she was. The church rebelled against who she was. The church was embarrassed about her identity as being the one true religion, and all other religions are false. They might have elements of the truth in them, and we can praise that, But we can't say, yes, we all worship the same God, and we're all trying to go to this, and we're all going to the same place. We cannot say that. We have to stand up and say there's one right religion, and it's us. This is not our preference. And that's the proof, is that so many people who join the church have to sacrifice so many things because of what the church teaches. That's part of the proof of our religion. This is not the Oprah Winfrey religion, where you pick a religion like a diet. You got to pick what's right for your soul, It doesn't work like that. Like, this is right for every soul, and depending on how deformed yours is, you're going to have to change more. That's the good news, is that you can change. There's hope for you. So ushers, right? We had the usher meeting. I encourage all of you to consider doing something for the parish, being an usher, being on the safety team, being in the Knights of Columbus, and we have all those representatives here tonight, right? Give something to the parish and be a part of this powerful team. We have something to offer. How do I say this? This is getting recorded. We have something to offer this diocese that no other parish has to offer, right? St. Isidore's, I saw you over there, former. Do I want to go down that path? Not yet. Okay, so we see a bend in the road, right? And there's what direction are we going to go after the bend? We don't know till we get there, right? But what I see here right now is the opportunity to maximize the potential of everybody in this room. All right, and that's what leadership is. Leadership is taking the people around you, whether it's your family, your children, your wife, yourself, seeing potential and maximizing it. That's really what the Catholic Church is about, right? Power to become sons of God. Okay, you're a human being. You can be naturally virtuous, but how about being supernaturally virtuous, right? How about, as I said at Officer Talley's funeral, how about loving people not with your strength, but with my strength, right? Says God, says Christ, right? How about living the faith not on your abilities, but live it in my abilities? That's power. And God wants us to work as a team. That's why he chose 12 disciples, right? 12 apostles and 70 disciples. But he works in that. God himself works in a hierarchy. And that's what we have available here in this church, in this community, is we're all on the same page. When if you're an usher, you need to realize, or I should say, I want you to realize, somebody comes in, you should feel confident, I can help this person. Whatever it is, I can help them. Even if it's back outside. You don't belong here. Are you new? I know where the visitors' guides are. I know who's on the welcoming committee, which I guess we have to tell you about, right? But you should know the capacities and the capabilities of your parish. This is what I want. And we're not there yet. We're still building it. But this is the vision, right, that I want us all to have. Is if somebody comes in the door, they should want to come back, right? And then that's going to be kind of its own problem, like it already is. But know what resources we have. Okay, do you need to get back into the church? Contact one of our priests. We have counseling available, which we don't yet, but hopefully we will. But you need to get baptized, you need your confessions, here they are, whatever you need, right? How can I help you? But it takes knowing it first. You don't know how to use a missal? God, neither do I, actually. Just kind of sit in and soak it in. We shouldn't have to say that, right? In fact, I'll be speaking about Kevin already here. We both independently came to the same idea, which I'll talk about later. But I want us to learn how to use the missal. What are the parts of the Mass? We should be able to explain the Mass, what's going on. These are classes that I want to give. I want to give to you to share that power. We have incredible riches with the traditional Mass, with everything fitting together, and we need to unlock that potential. My last parish, the church was about this size. It wasn't nearly this nice, actually. It was like a converted barn or something. But we had a great choir, and we had done solemn masses there before. But we went and we did a solemn mass at the Gonzaga University. right, in the Jesuit Heretical Center. It was true. They had a Lutheran teaching the class on grace. Yeah, seriously, yeah. So it was, and that was like a better story. But our own parishioners, right? When we sang, and it was we had the right music, we had the right liturgy, we had the right vestments, and we had the right church, and all of it came together in that center. And people they'd heard the music before, they had heard our choir before, they'd seen it before. They said, "Father, that was amazing," because everything was right. And we have that here, right? We have all the right elements. We have that beautiful church that Father Jackson, right, built. And that's it. Every piece, you can put in, architecture, music, art, liturgy. Fill in whatever you want in these circles. They fit together. They fit together. And it is our chance now to start saying, what else is going to fit? With ushers, how do we fit into here? And this is part of my talk on modesty that I'm not going to be giving now. I was going to give a sermon on modesty next week. But pending approval from the Vicar General, I'll be talking about Bishop Aquila's boldness. That he printed an article on the Holy Communion in the Jesuit magazine, and he made a few other comments that got picked up, and he's taken some flack. And I told him earlier, 2 years ago, I had a microphone, the whole Presbyterian Council. I said, anybody messes with you, Bishop? Well, I won't tell you what I said. I will take action. I will do something, right? Anyways, I promised I would defend him if he was bold. He's being bold, I am going to come to his defense. And that will be the next sermon I give. If, again, like they turn me loose, right? But I'm going to ask permission first. What was I saying? Everything comes together. Now I've lost it. The right architecture, the right music. Our place. We fit into that, right? Ushers. What we wear, how we carry ourselves. It's not like we come into the church and there's a Gregorian chant and there's all the stained glass windows and then we're not part of that. We are part of that. People should hear the music and see the stained glass and see the high altar and then see us and say everything fits. The people fit. And that's what seems, I think that is what people say when they say it feels unfriendly when they come into the Latin Mass. Because the way they've been taught to act, the way they've been taught to dress doesn't fit. Right? And so if somebody comes here and they're sincere, we should tell them, you do fit. And we want to help make you feel comfortable. So this is completely the opposite of the trad attitude, the traditude, which is wrong. Here's the problem. Trads get Scripture mixed up, right? We are wise as doves and gentle as serpents. Right? That's our problem. So we're coming out of an era when the traditional Mass, it didn't exist. You had to go to somebody's basement to find it, right? There was it was oppression, suppression, even persecution of anything traditional. And so you were on the lookout for outsiders because they were going to take something away from you. I mean, you had just lost everything. But it's not like that anymore. Right? It's not like that. Bishops are coming out and saying, we need to stop receiving communion in the hand. We should go back to communion on the tongue. Bishops are saying, Cardinal Sarah, I think it was, he said his problem with the new Mass, there was no time to pray. How about that? And no silence. You were always saying something, doing something, active participation, which is more just, what do you call that, noisy participation, right? Activity for the sake of itself. So now, here's the difference. We have to move away from the attitude. We've got to transition from the Old Testament to New Testament trads. In the Old Testament trads, if you touched a leper, you became leprous. Expel the lepers from your community. New Testament trads, power of Christ. And when we touch a leper, he is cleansed. So that person comes into this church who's not dressing modestly, they don't know how to behave, she's in yoga pants, I can't believe this, whatever. I mean, it's a problem. I'll be talking about it. It's an opportunity, right? This is somebody to say, we are going to help you fit in, whether you like it or not, whether you know it or not, right? We are going, and we're going to do it with a smile, and people should come along and think, I don't know how it happened, but I just felt like I was drawn in, right? I was drawn in, and really what does it is caritas. It's going to be love, right? If you're trying to sit there and manufacture positive emotions towards, it's not going to work, right? We got to sit down and say, okay, God, Christ, Lord, whatever, you need to give me the right emotion because I don't know which emotion to have, right? That's a great prayer to pray. Is that you can show me what to feel and I'll feel it. If you want me to be generous, loving, compassionate, stern, firm, courageous, bold, I'll do it, right? But I want to do the right thing, right? That needs to be our base prayer for everything. And you'll be really surprised at things that upset you before. When you pray that prayer about something that upsets you, it changes. It changes. So that is the unifying power that I want us to have is a love for our fellow man. I just met with 2 rabbis here the other day, Thursday. They came down from the Boulder Haver, is what they call that, the Jewish Haver. They were upset with something I'd said at the funeral. Officer Talley's burial service. And they had a point. And I hadn't considered. I was there, I'm like, okay, the media ignored his Requiem Mass, and they all said the funeral for Officer Talley will be Tuesday at 11. And I'm like, hey, what about Monday? Right, at when was it, 10 a.m.? No way is the media, the national media, going to skip his Catholicism. So I'm going to make this secular burial service as Catholic as I can. That was nerve-wracking, right? It was not easy. So I'm like, I'm in a Protestant church, so I'm going to evangelize the Protestants. That's what I was thinking. I guess it worked. The pastor there was very gracious. He could use your prayers. He's got 4 campuses, right? He's one of those mega parish. I think one of the largest mega parish in Denver. So it's not insignificant. But he could use your prayers. Because he's trying to, imagine Father Jackson or me trying to run 4 of these with no sacramental grace. That's what Protestants are doing. They don't have confession, they don't have the Eucharist, they don't have holy orders, and they're trying to be priests, right? That should excite our compassion, right? Not our anger at these poor Protestants, right? But at the service, I did, and I will tell you, this is an oversight. You have to know your audience. The whole community of Boulder came there to grieve. They had known people. They had shopped at that center. They had been in there the day before. They had been in there the hour before. That could have been me, right? They were grieving. Jews, Muslims, everybody was there. I didn't take that into consideration, right? So and for the Jews, I found this out. It was one specific line. The Jews who should have hailed Christ as the Messiah put him to death. The funny thing is, they didn't have a problem with historical fact. They said that's true. But in World War II, that's what the Nazis used to incite people against the Jews. And I got an 84-year-old Jewish lady whose parents were killed at Auschwitz, and she just had a flashback, and she's not able to deal with it. I'm like, okay, would it have helped if I had said his own people put him to death? They would have said yes. But that's a buzzword, right? And it sets people off, and we just wanted to let you know that. I'm like, you know what? I can take that. That's good to know. So very interesting, right? What do I give that for? I invited them to come into the church. I showed them the chapel, right? I said, I'd be glad to talk to you. I want to hear what you have to say. If it's true, I'll accept it. If it's not true, I'm going to defend the church. And they wanted me to actually tell it. Can you tell your people, this? And I was like, well, they don't need to hear it because I've never met a single Catholic who thinks that the Jews killed Christ. But I am happy to apologize for not considering the broader community. Happy to do that. Yeah, I have no problem apologizing for that. But I will tell you that the Jews are not the chosen people. We are. So I didn't quite say it like that, right? But I did bring it up. Actually, what I said was the only people I've ever heard say that are Protestants, and the Jews said us too. He's like, actually, I've never heard a Catholic say that the Jews killed Christ, but I've heard many Protestants. I'm like, yes. And they also say that Israel belongs to the Jews. He's like, and we don't say that because it belongs to us. So, anyways. Oh, man. I'm on a roll. I'm on board. So I was going to talk, I wanted to talk about discipline of children tonight. And I'm going to eventually, because I think that is becoming a problem. Because we have so many kids, right? And it's like what death by 1,000 paper cuts, you know? When you have 1,000 little kids and they're all kind of like squawking here and there, it becomes, unruly. So I had somebody say that they went to mass at the 9:30 and like they couldn't pay it, like they couldn't pay focus, right? There are people don't understand discipline these days. I mean, the secular world is just the pits with discipline. And I remember seeing a bunch of these, like the riots this past summer, and just seeing reporters get punched out, people knocking over cameras, just the most unruly behavior ever. And I said, yep, and this is the generation that was raised, spanking your kids will make them violent. Yeah, I doubt any of these kids were spanked, right? Ever, not once. And if it was, actually I was in a room, and I said, who here was spanked by, their father, right? And all of us, raised our hand. I wasn't asking, but yeah. And who here thought that it was good for them, right? Everybody raised it. One guy didn't raise his hand. I was like, why not? And he went through about how it was bad and so on and so forth. I was like, how was your father? He said, well, he was an alcoholic. There you go, right? There you go. It's not the physical discipline itself. It's the reason behind it. And it's the same with any kind of punishment. If you punish out of anger, because of anger, that's not good, right? For any reason. And what people don't talk about is those parents who psychologically screw their kids completely beyond belief, right? By manipulating them, guilt tripping them. That's horrible. That's kind of abuse that isn't obvious, but it's very lasting. So disciplining because of anger, selfishness, immaturity, whatever, is always going to be bad. The physical pain, what do we think happens with when children have to get chemotherapy or they get sliced open? That's pain, but they know the reason why, right? And so they're not upset. But anyways, discipline of children. I was going to talk about that, but I'm not now, even though I just did. You still have to talk, right? Just a second. Okay. Power. No, I'm going to do this next time. See, the trouble is I've said this before, ideas like bees around my head, and I got to pick which am I going to pull out. Kevin has worked on a program of education to help pull all of this together. Discipline of children, discipline of self, music, philosophy. Why? Why does all this work? Why the architecture? Why the Latin Mass? History, right? All these things. Let's talk about that. History, right? Music. What else? What's another one?
Philosophy, theology.
Philosophy. Theology, right? What else you got? What are your other pillars? Rule of life, self-discipline.
Culture, family.
Right? Natural law. We could go on forever, right? And part of what drove me crazy was thinking of all these things, and then in my mind, imagining the stack of books I'd have to read, to be like, how am I going to do this? What have you been doing for the last year?
We've been developing a program so that we can synthesize all this for every Catholic.
Reading the stack of books. So what Kevin did, unbeknownst to me, I'm like, what is he wasting his time on, right? He was building this program. Building that program. Selections on all these topics. And what he wants to do is present that to us. Is do a pilot program here in this parish, where we've got, 8 groups of 6, 8, whatever it is?
Yeah, groups of 8 or so.
And we're going to learn this. We're going to learn this. We're going to make this the most powerful parish in the diocese, in the nation, in the world. Who knows? Who knows what can come from this, right? Great things have to start somewhere. And who's to say it can't start here, right? And it's going to be all of you maximizing your potential. I'm continually surprised at what you guys can do. What we did for Officer Talley's funeral, we printed up booklets, we got these incredible things going, the ushers were amazing, we had kneelers built in like 72 hours. It was amazing, absolutely amazing. So that's what we want to do. Is it a good segue for you to talk about your class? So now what I want to do is move over. Kevin will talk about this program, kind of like the pitch to all of you. And you all get the flock note from the parish? That flock? If you don't, we send out every Friday. You get a thing. It's just, I think it's effeminate. It's a stupid little sheep, with fluffy paws. It's that millennial fluff that they like to do. I can't stand it. But that's the flock note that we use. Okay, so we use it. Before I transition to that, so sign up for that. That's how we'll let you know the next men's group, or if anybody's on this class, sign up, whatever. Call or email the secretary. You'll get on that flock note. Music. You ever heard that Templar chant? Yes. Like that super low, 2 octaves kind of a thing? I think we could do that. We got enough, man. When we were praying that rosary, I'm like hearing that nice bass. It's like, I think it's time. I think it's time. So, so Kevin, tell us about this program that you're going to do for us. And use this here thingy.
So SOCA stands for Souls of the Christian Apostolate. It's based on the book The Soul of the Apostolate. This was the book that St. Pius X, Pope St. Pius X, said was his bedside reading. Okay? And really, he believed this was the solution to the problems in the church. He was once asked by a fellow priest, what do we need to do to save the church? And one priest goes, we need more vocations. That's Pius X said, no, that's not it. We need more Catholic schools. We need to get on fire. Catholic schools, yeah. And he said, no, that's not it. And they kept giving answers. He said, no, what we need are fathers at every parish who are on fire with the faith and can radiate the spiritual life to their families and those around them at the parish level. That's what will save the church. This was 100 years ago. I think it was rather prophetic because it's probably not exactly what happened. To contextualize what SOCA is, I first want to begin with the mission of the church. Suprema lex salus animatum. The first law of the church is the salvation of souls. We don't hear that kind of language much anymore. You hear about the new evangelization, and there's a lot of, let's go out and let's just get people fired up. And there's a sense that sometimes it's just a social club. I know what that's like. I've been a part of stuff like that, okay? That's not what this is. This is the mystical body of Christ to save your soul and the souls of others from eternal damnation to go to heaven. And the only way you can do that is if you have sanctifying grace in your soul, which is given at baptism and is maintained through the Holy Catholic Church. That's how you save your soul. Our parish is a local center of that worldwide global mission of the church, the church militant. This parish has the mission of the salvation of souls. Not just your soul and not just your family's soul, it's all souls around here. We want to save all the souls in Littleton, all the souls in this diocese. We are here for salvation. That's what this is about. And that sort of language hasn't been a part of Catholic lingo for some time, at least in the mainstream. You probably know that. We've had a lot of small-minded thinking, watered-down faith, effeminate thinking, just being passive, right? It's the liberals that are the ones that are out there like actually trying to be militant and do something. They're strategic. They're coordinated. And we're just, what are we doing? We're disorganized. We're not even thinking in terms of let's conquer society. It's like, well, let's just preserve what we got and just hope that we don't get run over. That's not the mindset of Catholics. We're not Amish. The liberals are not afraid of the Amish because the Amish are not out trying to change the culture. That's not a militant religion. The Catholic faith is a militant religion. It is one that tries to evangelize. And that's why our faith is built on the seed of the martyrs. The blood of the martyrs is the seed of the faith. Okay? So, why do I say all that? Because SOCA is aiming simply to just make us on-fire Catholics. The vision that we have is the transformation of society for the kingship of Christ. And that has to be done through proper formation. We can't just go out and do a bunch of cool stuff. That's activism. If we don't have the supernatural end in mind, then it all just dissipates. Father?
Can you tell on focus?
Can I tell on focus?
Tell us how you what made you come to that realization?
Well, I've been a part, how can I put this? I've been a part of a number of Catholic efforts, one of which was Fellowship of Catholic University Students, or FOCUS. I was a FOCUS missionary, and before I was in that, I was in religious life in France with a traditional Dominican order, received incredible formation there, and then I saw FOCUS, and they have a lot of zeal. Organizations like FOCUS, this new evangelization effort, a lot of zeal, which I commend them for. And I commend a lot of the other efforts that I see. But there's a grave need for true, authentic Catholic formation that's rooted in the traditions of our faith, that's rooted in eternal salvation, not just a momentary feeling, okay? That actually gives you robust, all this stuff that Father's talking about. This is the new standard that has to be in place to be a devout Catholic. It's not just vote conservative, go to Mass on Sunday, and you're good. That's what's led to the situation we're in the church today. So I've seen a lot of this sort of bubbly Catholicism that, hey, let's just kind of this party thing, and yeah, I can wear yoga pants, and yeah, I can, get drunk on the weekend and live promiscuously and all that kind of stuff. And it's not like there's not the gravitas there that this parish maintains and that the traditions of the faith maintain. So we need this formation everywhere. Does that help give you a context?
It's not enough to sit at home and pray the rosary and hunker down and vote for Trump and stockpile ammo and guns.